Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Justine Podcast. And today, as you're seeing from the title, we're going to be talking about passive aggression. Not just the basics of passive aggression, but as you're seeing from the subtitle, talk about non-physical abuse, right? I ain't gonna say studying passive aggressive behavior, but like it's just been a recurrent thing in my ambiance lately. Like passive aggressive shit. Like I'm I'm an actively aggressive person. So I don't like to be, I'm not gonna say I'm not one, but I don't like to be one who you have to guess what I'm talking about. Right. Or guess that I'm being assertive or asserting myself. And that's another point I want to bring up too, assertiveness, because a lot of times we look at passive aggressive behavior as being assertive and it's not. It's actual onslaught of certain shit. But we're definitely gonna talk about that. But what really got me thinking about this was that I was on social media and I usually just ignore trolls. I usually ignore trolls, right? And or if I'm gonna, or I just delete the comment or whatever the case may be. If it's on my page, if I'm commenting on somebody else's page and somebody comments and then they want to be passive aggressive or whatever the case may be, it's like you got to eat that. The internet is full of a lot of passive aggressive motherfuckers. I didn't realize how passive aggressive people were until the internet because I'm like, I know. I always used to say shit like, I know you wouldn't say that to me in real life. I know for a fact you wouldn't say that to me in real life. So you're safe here. Like a lot of these people don't be having pictures. You know what I'm saying? It'd be certain shit that just they're just trolling, right? But they don't know that I troll too. So in it, like the people, they would respond in a way in which it starts off disrespectful. And it's like, yo, I didn't even come like your first thing is because I said something different than what you used to. You called me stupid. It's like, all right, whatever, bro. That's a form of passive aggressive behavior. They've been teaching us all our lives to succumb to passive aggressive behavior without addressing it the right way by simply saying this phrase: sticks and stones may break bones, but words will never hurt you. But the words were passive aggressive behavior. Sticks and stones are active aggressive behavior. The words are passive aggressive behavior. So when they say words will never hurt you, no, that's what they would. That's the design. If I tell you words will never hurt you, I'll program you to absorb whatever I say to you. By the time you realize that words take root in fertile soil and they grow, it's already too late. The passive aggression has already hit. And now I said something to you when you were 7 years old that it transcended reality. You feel what I'm saying? When I look at, so the point that I was making with that, so I'm commenting, and right, somebody comes, all right, this is a stupid comment. And I'm like, just because y'all can't understand what I'm talking about. And one thing that I learned about passive aggressive behavior is almost like a nervous laugh. It is in response to feeling threatened, feeling attacked. But that's how they attack back. That's how they respond with a fight or flight response, right? So I made a statement and apparently they didn't agree with it, not because they didn't agree, because they didn't understand what I was talking about. So they were like, nah, this is stupid. What you're saying doesn't make sense, which I was like, cool. So I'm willing to go to distance because when I speak on shit, I stand what I stand on. Passive aggressive behavior doesn't work on me. I fuck passive aggressive people up because if we just gonna use words, nigga, come on. So the person was, you know what I'm saying, like I said, coming at me. We were literally going back and forth to the point where it was like, it got to the point where they were not even, I'm speaking on the topic at hand. They shifted from the topic at hand to me and thought like, yeah. So the guy was like, yeah, after looking at your page, I think you need a psych. You have psych issues. I said, you can say whatever you want. You can make whatever principle, however you want to say it. Doesn't justify the fact that you didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So I even put that in the comment I responded to. I said, look, I said, you're you're trying to, at best, the conversation that we having is me speaking about calculus and you with your algebra mind. I ain't say it like this because I said it differently, but it's me speaking calculus and you're speaking about algebra, telling me calculus is wrong. And you've never even studied trigonometry or anything beyond algebra, geometry, nothing. You just stuck at algebra telling me calculus is wrong. And on the outside looking in, it's supposed to look like, oh, the fool. No, no, no. Only two algebra motherfuckers arguing about calculus is wrong. A motherfucker talking about calculus to a motherfucker with algebra doesn't look like a fool. You feel what I'm saying? And when I dissected everything, and that by the time we finished, I guess the person was trying to get a rise or try to make me crumble as to what I was saying. I still stood on what I said and made that person block me. And I was like, oh, you were testing the limits to see if you can push my buttons. No, I don't have buttons to push because I'm not in the world of button pushing. Because I don't fuck with passive aggression, because I don't fuck with other shit that ties into what we're about to talk about. But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram _just_scene_ Be sure to check out my website at IamJustScene.com to get all things Just Scene. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you could do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. And you know the vibes, Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And as always, that's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. And when we come back, we're going to dive into passive aggression, nonverbal abuse. And don't forget to visit IamJustScene.com. There, you can get all things Just Scene. You want to add the So For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustScene.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustScene.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustScene.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustScene.com. You ever want to just chat with Scene about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustScene.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustScene.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustScene.com. All right. Welcome back. Gah. All right. Before we dive into that, let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out. I do passive aggressive shit too. You feel me? Now, the passive aggressive shit that I've learned to do is the effect of the cause that is the education system, that is quote unquote professionalism, that is all of this other shit. I had to learn. They call it nasty nice or some shit like that. They say when you're in a corporate field, they teach you how to be passive aggressive. It's no different than physically aggressive. And this is why I'm saying, um, it goes hand in hand. But passive aggression is when you could throw rocks and hide your hand. You feel what I'm saying? But we learn to be passive aggressive all our lives, especially from children, because children can't defend themselves against adults. So you have to find subtle ways to throw your jabs back without throwing your jabs back, low key. And these are things, but you actually learn it from adults by seeing them interact with other humans, other people. It's a lot of passive aggressive shit that goes on. And like I said, a lot of times we don't look at passive aggression for what it is. You feel what I'm saying? We don't look at passive aggression for what it is. We're so busy. We oftentimes get wrapped up in narcissism a lot, but we don't look at passive aggression. So we think because we automatically tie aggression to physical activity, we don't pay attention to the verbal words that people speak. My sisters, y'all listening, I know y'all are, because this isn't So For Real Conversations. This episode is largely going to revolve around y'all. I know. I'm not gonna be in a condescending way and shit like that, but when I bring a lot of the messages back, it's gonna be back to y'all because y'all are very passive aggressive collectively. And y'all are passive aggressive because y'all can't physically beat motherfuckers up. Y'all can, some of y'all can fight, but for the most part, a lot of y'all will verbally cut a motherfucker. And I didn't realize this until I started developing it as I got older, because it was like, yo, this is all due respect. And I'm using this solely for dramatic effect. Bitches will make you want to punch them in the mouth. Hear me well, I'm gonna say it again. Bitches will make you want to punch them in the mouth, right? I've never hit a woman. Yes, I did. I was in the 6th grade and I slapped one of my good friends because she kicked me. I had just got shot in the leg, not by a gun, but we was having BB gun wars in the hood or whatever. And one of my homies shot me in the leg. And when he shot me in the leg, the shit hurt real bad. She kicked me in the leg that I got shot in. And when I got shot, I swung and I slapped her. And I got suspended for a day. Felt bad after. I never hit a woman again after that. But we was in the 6th. It ain't no excuse, but we was in the 6th grade. Technically, we hadn't even hit puberty for real yet. So it's like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm being dramatic for the reason, because I did indeed put my hands on her, right? But she physically hit me, right? Because of the pain. And I'm adding that to go into the next level, because a lot of our women have taught themselves to be able to say certain shit a certain way to fuck you up, but then flip it to say you a bitch if you respond. That's passive aggressive behavior. We go through that so motherfucking much that we don't realize how deeply rooted it is. Now, this is why I say it's tied to the education system, right? Because that nasty nasty shit, that nasty nice, whatever the fucking bullshit is, that is what is a foundational root of being in corporate America. That is what professionalism is all about. Being able to manipulate the situation and your words in a way that favors you, that looks and appeals to everybody else. But in that, when things don't go your way, you learn how to say some real aggressive shit with a smile on your face. Some real low key passive aggression is a curse. When we actually look at the phonetics and we look at the symbolism of what words really represent, and we look at how words are tied to energy, passive aggressive behavior is a curse. You feel me? I'm intentionally deceiving you, but I'm deceiving you in such a way that you don't know that you're deceived, but I deceived the fuck out of you and I hurt you and I did some damage to you that's not going to register for, you know what I'm saying? I'll never forget the first time I started being exposed to passive aggressive shit. I was in the 5th grade. A teacher did this. This is passive aggressive teacher behavior, right? I don't think she was being disrespectful. I don't think she was being rude. I think she was just being. And because you get stuck in the loop for so long, you feel me? You go to college, you go to school, you go all of this shit. Like passive aggressive behavior is easy to pass on when they teach you, you know, don't resort to violence. Okay, well, if I can't resort to violence, what you think I'm gonna resort to? Roasting, joking. Like I'm gonna hurt your feelings. Like people be thinking, why is the suicide rate high? Suicide rate isn't high. It isn't higher, isn't it getting any more dramatic, whatever, it's just being more exposed because now the words are getting a lot more passive aggressive. These kids can't fight no more. And now when I have the safe haven of the internet, digital shit, I can say a lot more and I have time to sit on what I say. I have time to get creative with what I say. In the moment, it's different. Those of us who are passive aggressive like myself, who can be passive aggressive in the moment, it's sarcasm. Like, but that's when you're passive aggressive in the moment and you witty with it. You feel me? Do not go back and forth with me. You feel me? Don't do it in verbal communication. Don't do it over the internet. Don't do it at all because I'm nice with this shit because I perfected it so much because, like I said, in school, I stopped fighting. My mama used to always tell me, don't fight in school. I didn't fight in school. Once we moved to North Carolina, I stopped fighting in school. But I noticed that when I stopped fighting, my words got cuttier, like deadlier, sharper. Like, I don't know why I said cuttier, but my words will cut you a lot deeper because I couldn't physically fight you because I'm gonna get suspended. I'm gonna be labeled as an outlaw. I'm gonna be labeled as a thug. I'm gonna be violent. And then they're gonna start labeling me. And then they're gonna start putting me in a bad behavior. They're gonna start saying I'm special education. And all of this shit isn't the case. But I'm developing this passive aggressive to avoid all of this. Right? This passive aggressive behavior. Like I said, this is why I'm saying it's nonverbal abuse. Because all of the shit that you would say verbally to a motherfucker is what you would do with your hands if you could. So now we're in a space now where there's a direct correlation. You feel me? Domestic violence is still domestic violence. Just my own personal perspective. I haven't done any true research, but I'm speaking on the collective of how we're speaking. I can say that over the last decade or so, that the complaint of domestic abuse has gone down, but the rise of men being zesty has increased. We can't physically hit y'all, but we're going to speak to y'all in a certain way that makes y'all feel what we would have felt. And I don't think women understand that capacity. Why men got to stoop to you. And then y'all say certain shit. This is how you know it's passive aggressive. Y'all say certain shit. Trigger a motherfucker. He respond. Now he's zesty. Now he catty. Now he going back and forth. And so frail too. I mentioned a catty argumentative man. That's not what this is right now. Catty argumentative man is passive aggressive in a sense, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm speaking on the collective as humans. Passive aggressive behavior as humans. It is non-verbal. It is non-physical abuse. So passive aggression is also mental and it's spiritual. It is how you can disrupt the motherfucker so bad that they don't even know they disrupted, but it's a delayed reaction. Again, passive aggression is some shit that you were told when you were 7 years old that's still with you to this day because of the words you heard. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was tying it back to the 5th grade. This is the first time I experienced my teacher. She did this. She didn't do it to me, but she did it to the whole class. And I was able to catch it because she made a statement. And everybody was like, huh? I got what she was saying. So I didn't say, huh? I'm listening. Like, and as she put her hand over her head, like she just waved her hand over her head. And I was like, oh, it went over your head. That's some passive aggressive shit. You just called us all dumb. Oh, nah, this over your head. You feel me? Don't let that go over your head. So now that translates to social media. You feel me? Passive aggressive behavior. A motherfucker will know who they talking to when they subbing or whoever. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know if you ever seen that seen my posts like that, but even recall from before we rebranded back in the day. Like I rarely, I ain't gonna say never because I don't know if I did it or not, but I rarely would, you know what I'm saying? I rarely would speak in a way that would say shit like, I don't know who needs to hear this, or, you know what I'm saying? I post directly. And most of the posts that I'm making is a reflection of myself. I was sitting down reminiscing, like, damn, I did do some stupid shit. There's a post, boom, boom, boom. Here's content, boom, boom, boom. And people relate to it because we're human and we all go through similar shit. But you would rarely hear me say, don't let that go over your head, or I don't know who needs to hear this, or, you know what I'm saying? I try not to do that because that becomes passive aggressive. Most of these podcasters are passive aggressive people. We having conversation. We have passive aggressive conversation with people. We wonder why we yell. We wonder why we get upset. We wonder why it's a physical, it's a verbal onslaught. It's a back to back. Why we got to go back and forth? Because if these were fists, this is what the situation would be: a physical fight. This is now a mental fight. This is now a verbal fight. This is now a spiritual fight. Why? Because it is passive aggressive in nature. So I'm gonna make little subtle innuendos and throw shots and shit, but I'm not gonna say it directly to you. Case in point, nigga look like a straight bitch afterwards because, for one, passive aggression doesn't look good on a motherfucker who the phrase "your arms are too short to box with God" is largely tied into passive aggression. So we're in a panel, and a guy is like, they asked me a question about religion. You feel me? Because niggas know how I feel about religion. Everybody else is on the same side. I'm the oddball out. So they like, yo, how do you feel religion affects masculinity? Right? Passive aggressive people always respond and react because they're triggered. They don't even hear what the fuck is happening. Most of the time you on social media, the responses you get are passive aggressive shit. The niggas did not understand or listen to what you were saying. They seen a few words and reacted. You feel me? Case in point, when I made the post about, I commented on the page and I was like, yo, it's the spiritually, I said the US dollar is backed by the health of the physical, mental, spiritual health of the people, and whatever the case may be. And niggas was like, but America ain't healthy. Duh. Like, like, you feel me? Nigga, you stupid. The health ain't even healthy. Like, duh. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all, passive aggressive people, they get offended by certain shit and then they respond to the certain shit that offended them and not the whole situation. So passive aggression is a lot worse. I can deal with a motherfucker who swings off on me because I punched him in the mouth. But I can't, it's hard to deal with a motherfucker who took something the wrong way. Because you didn't understand what the fuck I was talking about. Your feelings got involved. You feel what I'm saying? It's not even what I said. It's just how I said it. It's the fact. Women are good for that. And again, like I said, I'm going to keep bringing it back to y'all for this one. Women are very passive aggressive in this regard because they will say shit like, when you in a world where men are naturally like what are the three emotions or feelings that men are able to feel? Anger, rage, and aggression. You don't think there's an analog for that passive aggressively? And women haven't mastered that shit? If you've never been a man who's ever, I gotta be transparent, right? I've dealt with women with mouths so vile that I wanted to punch them in it. Did I punch him? No. Why? Because I'm a man. Men ain't supposed to hit women. You're not supposed to hit women. You're programmed and trained. Y'all remember when I said patriarchy low-key might have been started by women? I'm still working out the details and seeing if I can get some downloads behind that shit. But when you look at certain shit, it's like women get away with a lot that we don't really address the right way. Women are the emotional being. Men are the physical. So if the thoughts, the words are fueled and enhanced by emotions, what do you think is going to happen when a woman speaks? You feel what I'm saying? So when a woman speaks condescendingly or a woman speaks in a certain way, she can hide her hand. You're a man. You're supposed to be able to take this. You're supposed to be able to take me saying you a bitch, your mama a bitch, your grandma a bitch, and everybody ugly in your family. I got to take that. But if I tell you, you ask me, do I look fat in this dress? And I say, yeah. I'm wrong because the truth is there. You feel me? That's passive aggressive shit. Women will withhold sex from you. Passive aggressive shit. Women withhold sex from you for looking like. I remember I had a girlfriend one time. And now we all at a group table, you know what I'm saying? Everybody talking. And we was talking about this girl, right? I wasn't even talking about her ass, right? Everybody was saying like, oh, they said she I was like, she doesn't really have a fat ass. She just arches her back to make it look like her. back, her ass is fat. So I was talking about her back. I was like, yeah, it's just like this. So the woman I was involved with at the time was like, okay, that's enough. You can stop, whatever. I was like, stop what? You don't need to keep talking about her ass. I'm not talking about her ass. I'm talking about her back. Whatever you talking about her ass poking out. No, I'm saying that her ass only pokes out because her spine has issues. Like she might have lordosis or some shit. So that's what I was talking about. This motherfucker spaz and everything. In that same token, I've sat in conversation where this motherfucker, like her friends, they talk about penis and fucking dick prints and shit. I don't want to hear that. But at the same time, I never felt like, okay, that's enough. You talking about niggas' dicks and shit. I never felt that way. But see, that lets me know passive aggression is a byproduct of things like jealousy, envy, a whole bunch of negative feelings. So when we look at anger, rage, and aggression, there's analogs for it. And where anger, rage, and aggression translate to physical aggression, active aggression, the other situations will translate into passive aggression. And again, I got to use the women on the staple for this because they're very good at it. And the more, and like I said, it comes in a way because we got to realize that passive aggression is the result of white supremacy in a way, or racism, however you want to look at it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because once racism started fucking up business, right? Like when we look at the civil rights, when we look at the fact that white people can't call black people niggas anymore, white people can't say or do certain shit because, it'll fuck up the business. If it's not going to fuck up the business, they don't care. But when it starts fucking up the business, we got a problem. You feel what I'm saying? Racism ain't profitable anymore. They're squeezing the final products out of it, but racism itself isn't profitable anymore. Right? It was easy to be profitable when you're building it based off of the age of Pisces. Right? Because you can't do it in the age of knowledge. You can't do it in the age of Aquarius because belief and knowledge are two totally different things. Two totally different levels of the mind, for one. But when you're based off of energy sources that are like that, it's different. So racism isn't profitable anymore. So in order to be racist, without being racist, you become passive aggressive. You feel me? You become passive aggressive. And now, when we integrated, we didn't realize I remember being in the fourth grade, having grown women teachers, these are Caucasian women, talking to me in a way that's like, I remember one time this lady, she like up and down told me I was lying. I said, I'm not lying. I was like, yo, my mom signed this paper. No, she didn't. Now who signed it? My mom. I get it. Your passive aggression, this shit is kicking in. You're trying to force me to tell you some shit because you can't beat me anymore. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to use passive aggression. I know you're lying. I'm not. Now that I understand chakras, now that I understand certain shit, I understand what was happening with that passive aggressive shit. That shit fucks with your chakras. That shit fucks with your chakras so much so that it fucks with your personal identity and it fucks with your sacral and solar plexus chakra. Sacral chakra is about your feelings, your feelings and your sexual energy, sexual identity, all of that shit. Well, sexual energy for one. Your identity is more solar plexus. But anyway, your feelings, sexual energy sit at the sacral chakra, right? Your emotions and personal identity sit at the solar plexus. You feel what I'm saying? So when a feeling gets triggered a certain way, you're gonna either have guilt or shame behind. I mean, you're gonna take onus for it, which is either gonna be credit or blame. But you're gonna have onus for that feeling. Now, when you internalize that onus, it becomes pride or shame, right? And when you take a trait, when something happens to you, when you take an event and make it who you are, that's when it becomes your personal identity. You feel what I'm saying? And so with passive aggressive shit, motherfuckers say shit in a way that fucks with those two areas of your life without you even knowing it. I don't even know if they're intentional with it. But you feel what I'm saying? It's the same demoralization in a way. Physical demoralization is one thing because that keeps you at the root chakra. Because you get beat up, you get raped, you get whatever. Like that's the culture we're in. We don't think passive aggressive behavior that's a layer. That's sophisticated rape. Like you feel me? That's sophisticated rape culture in a way. You feel me? Because we got to understand rape culture extends from dominion. This is what I was talking about in one of the last episodes. I was talking about how we're in the culture that is built off society that's built off dominance and submission. Dominance and submission. That's it. There's no we think passive aggressive is our dominant form of let me slow down because I get excited with shit like this. But when we look at the way the culture is, it's built off of one, it's competitive. But for two, it's built off of dominion and submission. You're going to pick one of those sides. Right? Physical dominion is one thing. But then you have verbal dominion. You have basically mental dominion, which includes verbal and spiritual dominion, right? The passive aggressive side is where your mental dominion comes in. I'm going to dominate you mentally. This is why the art of debate is so powerful. This is why when people engage in conversation, they don't listen. First thing they do is feel attacked. And now I got to debate you and show that I'm better than you. You don't, and you can't, and you won't, and you're going to look stupid when you open your mouth. This is why I love the way that I set my brand up as Just Seen. I want you to feel like I ain't shit. I want you to feel like that I'm something that you overlook. I want you to feel like that when I open my mouth, it's not the words that come out aren't worth hearing. But when it happens, I want you to know that your ass just got whooped. Because when that passive aggression hits, I'm going to show you how well I fight. Not only physically, I can fight physically. So it's like, bam, that's easy. But now I can fight verbally too. So now when you think you're going to do that passive aggressive shit, I'm going to show you some active aggression that's still verbal. And you like, you feel me? I had a motherfucker come at me and say, yo, I think you should humble yourself. For what? In the same post about the dollar being backed by the health of the people and shit, motherfucker said, you should have told that and you should have had practiced a little bit more humility. Why do I have to, again, I'm going to say it, why did I have to practice humility for what I knew I was talking about? Now it goes back to that teacher who kept telling me, you're a liar. Because now it goes back to the chakras. For one, I didn't lie. She's telling me I lied. That's affecting the feeling, making me internalize that I lied. When you internalize that you lied, the event that you lied, now you become the liar. You feel what I'm saying? These are events that fuck with us. Like, for example, when they consider molestation, right? And the motherfucker said, I've been gay all my life, or whatever the case might be. The issue with molestation and why it's so fucked up is because you still get aroused when you're molested. Why? Because the person molesting you is because the arousal is nervous. It's tied off the nervous system. The nervous system doesn't necessarily register this, that, the third. I seen the best representation of that when I was watching Dr. Phil. The guy was like, I knew I wasn't gay, but I knew that when this guy touched me in this place, it made me aroused. He said, but that messed with me because I knew I wasn't gay, but I liked what happened. So I thought that only a man could do that. Nah, you got aroused because that's what the nervous system does. And now because you were told this, the feelings got hit, you internalized that, and that made you become who you were. I got a cousin. We called him gay all his life because his father wasn't in his life, and all he did was emulated his mama. He's gay now. He wasn't gay then. He wasn't gay when he was a kid. He couldn't conceptualize it, but he internalized that because of how we made him feel. You ever wondered why the LGBT community, every year they have Pride Month? Why do you think it's called Pride? Because what's the opposite of pride? Shame. And where do these two energies sit? At the solar plexus chakra. Solar plexus chakra governs your personal identity. I want you to have pride is just basically when you have a positive personal identity. Now, they're teaching you to have pride in this shit that is passive aggressive. You feel what I'm saying? And be ashamed of the natural shit that naturally occurs. You feel me? That's why everything has to be renamed now. Because in naming it, that is the passive aggressive way of the words don't hurt you, but the words will stick in the print within you. I don't think y'all have ever heard a person in the alphabet community call you a breeder. It feel like they calling you a nigga low key. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like like you a breeder. Well, what the fuck are you? You feel me? Like, but you got to deal with that shit. That is passive aggressive behavior. But we have to look at the exception. All passive aggressive behavior now, because we're in this dominant submissive society. All passive aggressive. Because we're in this dominion dominant versus submissive society, passive aggressive behavior is always and largely going to come from the losers. It's going to come from the losers. Those who do not know how to win. Now, when I say loser, I'm not speaking at it from the elementary standpoint where we're roasting and we're joking on people. You're a fucking loser. No, I'm speaking on the like. If you read Sophro 3, when I talk about the tree of life, I want to say it's the sphere of Nedzak. What that sphere represents is victory, right? Which is how to win and how to lose. You ever heard the phrase, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat? When you get the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, the energies are the same. The momentous feeling that you have is the same. Now you have to take that energy and transmute it. So now you can duplicate how to win. People who lose and people who win, that is a choice. Whether people want to admit it or not, it is a choice. The choice to win, or like when we watch basketball games or whatever the case may be, even the rigged ones, you can see there's a choice of who's going to win. Who's like the person who wins usually they chose to outperform the other person. Now I get it. A lot of people say, well, you can't choose to out. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Leading up to that point, I practiced more than you. I prepared more than you. I watched more tape on you. I was more prepared for the situation. So now when I came into it, I won. That's how winning works. Losing off the other side is equally the opposite of that. I do not prepare properly. I go into the situation poorly prepared and expect to win. Mm-mm. You tell yourself you're a loser. And that's what happens with a lot of people. And a lot of passive aggressive people are losers who play the victim role because they would not prepare for the win or do what was necessary for them to win. So now we see shit like this where passive aggressive behavior has reached a new point where men say, I'm not going to compete with the men. I'm going to become a woman and go play with the women and be better than them. So I can still be a winner because I don't know how to win. So I'm going to lower the goalpost so I can don't. Right. But again, it ties into passive aggressive shit. The shit goes 1-to-1. Almost every motherfucker I knew in school that was not a winner that, did participation trophies and all of that other shit, they're very passive aggressive. Look at today, right now. I just seen this post where Serena was saying she cannot beat a man that plays at her caliber in tennis. Serena said that. But then I seen another motherfucker who never stepped a foot on a tennis court. You can look at him and say, no, women can compete with men at any given time. It's, again, passive aggressive shit. It's more to what is passive aggression has a tone to it, has an energy to it. You never really realize that something is being passive aggressive with you until it's too late. But you can always catch it by how it initiates the conversation with you. Because passive aggression always starts off the conversation as if something is wrong with whatever it is that it's presenting. And then when you respond to it, I was just saying. Because passive aggression works in such a way that it can throw the rocks and hide its hand. I can say this, and if however you take it, I can flip it if I'm uncomfortable. You feel what I'm saying? Like when people ask, like, why would you want to do that? In that tone, and you respond, cuz motherfucker, you ain't have to respond like that. I matched your energy. See, the thing about conversation, a lot of people don't realize this about conversation because we spend so much time trying to be professional with the conversation that we can't hear the right conversation. Conversation has fluid flow too. And when a conversation is what it is, you literally mirror everything about the conversation when you're having it. When we're talking about the same thing, we feeling the same energies. We coming off from the same perspective. So when you come with an inflection, I'm coming with that inflection too. Most times. When you come in with a certain energy, I'm coming with that certain energy because so now when you approach it, it's like, okay, like you ever told somebody that you wanted to achieve something, like, okay, that's passive aggressive behavior because what are you saying? What are you really implying? No. I'm just saying like more power to you. You're saying you're doubting whether I can do it, but you're telling me you don't want to come out and tell me because you know that now affects who we are, right? I've had that situation. I've had a motherfucker tell me, I say, yo, I'm gonna retire by the time I'm 28. And they like, no, you ain't. All right, whatever. And then when they see me turn in my notice and was like, wow. Yeah, I don't like your passive aggressive behavior caused you to say some condescending shit. And you didn't even realize it was condescending because you're used to doing passive aggressive shit. You feel what I'm saying? Again, as a motherfucker I can visibly see my passive aggression when I kick it in because I'm very sarcastic. Sarcasm for me was a defense mechanism because I couldn't fight motherfuckers no more. And then I couldn't fight because of the sticks and stone shit. I couldn't fight motherfuckers for the reasons. Oh, that's just words. Everybody kept saying that's just words. No, that's passive aggressive behavior. It's not just words. It's how you chose to say those words. And when we look at tying it back to the education system, it seems like I'm all over the place, but I'm not. Tying it back to the education system, we integrated and we had to go deal with passive aggressive motherfuckers. So imagine you coming home from school telling your parent, yo, my teacher don't like me. You're not there to be like, you don't get it. It's not just about being like, this person is passive aggressive with me. I don't give a fuck how many grades, how good my grades are, that's irrelevant. I got to deal with this passive aggressive person in this environment. If this person was physically aggressive with me, you'll stop it. If I went to class and got slapped by a teacher every fucking day, your parent will be the first motherfucker down there. But yet, we don't want to address the passive aggressive behavior. You dig what I'm saying? Now, some of it ain't passive aggressive behavior. Some kids do be exaggerating. But as somebody who has experienced teachers purposely attacking me as a kid because I was significantly greater than the counterparts that I was supposed to be beneath. She targeted me. She fucked with me so bad. Like both of the teachers, and they were in cahoots with each other. And I'm like, why are y'all so fucking evil? You feel me? But you can't do anything because it's passive aggressive. Oh, these are just words. Now, when you tell your parent, they can get their story straight. When you come down to have a conference, that's not what I meant. And that's not how I came out and said it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And they hate when you stand on that shit. Teachers hated me because I wasn't no bitch. The teachers hated me when it was time to go to parent-teacher conference because they can get the kid to just sit and be quiet and just get chastised. No, I want no bitch. I want no bitch in front of you. I want no bitch in front of my mama. I'm going to say exactly what I said. That's one of the bittersweet things about, my relationship with my mama. She like, you've always been this way. She said, the truth is what has to come from you, regardless of what it is. She said, even if it's not, it doesn't make you look good. You don't care. You're gonna say what's what, and you'll stand on that. But it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet as fuck because it's like, okay, now when I have to assert this in this world where, when you get older, you're gonna have like, you're not gonna be able to say it. Like, imagine being a black person and you have to constantly be told that you lose your voice over time. By the time you get to corporate America, you have code switched so much you don't know who you are. I'm gonna say this because I thought about this before. A lot of people keep asking why black people, our relationships don't work. They can't. They can't. Integration will not allow our relationships to work because of code switching. We brag about how well we can code switch, put a white voice on, put a black voice on, or whatever the case may be, but it's deeper than just a voice. It's deeper than just a voice. We have to realize that code switching is more of a cultural thing than just actual words, because now we are moving in between two different cultures, right? Corporate America, the professional realm, does not cater to, it only capitalizes off of the black cultures we come from. See, we say black isn't monolithic, but it is. You feel me? The black that we want people to see is monolithic, right? The black that people see is monolithic. And we know it's monolithic simply because when we do something or somebody does something, they be like, yo, you just said black people back 100 years, or that's embarrassing. I can keep it 100 with you, y'all. Don't nothing, no other black person do ever. It will never embarrass me. It will never embarrass me. It will only embarrass me because I'm trying to align and make sure that I don't look like you in the eyes of somebody else. I'm not going to say who's who and what's what, but this is what it is. So on one side, we create two different types of black people. We have the black people that us as black people know that we are when we're around each other. And this is the black person that when you see some wild shit, you can look and y'all can make eye contact. That's one side of who we are. But now when we have to project and open our mouths in the competitive world, of the dominion world, in the world of, we can't be that black anymore. We have to be the black that's code switched. This is a whole different culture. Now imagine this. The first half of your life, 18, 20 years, maybe up until college, but let's say before you even get your job, you code switch in this way. Then you spend so much time and tenure in this job, you forget who you are, because now you have to put all the essence off of what you were to become professional for who you are. You don't realize all of this time you're just becoming a passive aggressive person. I know. It's like, how did you bring that back to this? Because tying it into the education system, when we're here, you can't, once you become professional, you can't say certain shit. If a motherfucker did something, I can't punch my, like, it's people really on social media saying, what's the polite way to say you got me fucked up? And motherfuckers will give them a passive aggressive way to say you got me fucked up. Because I can't tell you, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you, like I motherfucking said, it's per my last email. They create words, they create structures in which passive aggression, it becomes verbal and it becomes a mental challenge. Passive aggression will break you down mentally. You feel me? If you've never been around a motherfucker who has broken you down mentally, you can't really gauge how passive aggression works. The girlfriend that I was with, the reason why I stayed in a relationship so long, it was toxic. I should have been done 6 months in. I could not see that this was an abusive relationship because it was passive aggressive. She never physically hit me. She physically hit me one time. This was towards the end of it. As they say, the flames flicker most violently just before they go out. She kicked me in my chest. That's when it became down to like, I remember the conversation because she kicked me And I told her, I said, yo, you lucky you a woman. I would beat the fuck out of you. And I walked out of the place I was to go cooler. I didn't kick her out. I let her stay there and I walked out. And we had a conversation. And I told her, I said, don't you ever in your life put your hands on me like that again. I said, if you ever, and she kicked me, it wasn't her hands, but I just, when you're in the moment, I said, don't you ever in your life put your hands on me again. If you do, we're going to have a big problem. What you going to do? No, I'm not going to hit you back. I have sisters. I have homegirls who've been waiting to bust your ass for a long time. Really? Your friends, you missing the whole point. They've been waiting to fuck you up. Fuck up. She never put her hands on me again. But her words were something that I've never experienced before. And psychologically, it was fucking me up. I can admit that. Psychologically, it was fucking me up because it's like, men are supposed to take this. Men are supposed to be able to take this. I don't think anybody, you have to be a man who's been broken down verbally by a woman to know what this is. Women, because men are supposed to be tough and strong and men are supposed to be do this, women feel and they unleash hell on you when they want to because they know, hit me, nigga, hit me, motherfucker, hit me. It's deeper than that. The provocation of hit me. People see that as the recording. Hit me, nigga, mushing you in your face and shit like that. Nobody sees the passive aggressive shit that led up to that. So where the passive aggression has reached the volatility. She still ain't touched me. She still ain't said shit, but she been provoking me this whole motherfucking time. And I don't think people realize how deep passive aggression is because we've been hearing all of our lives. Sticks and stones break bones, but words will never hurt you. But now I'm psychologically conflicted because these words hurt. This is somebody I'm supposed to love. This is somebody I'm supposed to fuck with. This is somebody I'm supposed to really care about talking to me like this. You feel what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I actually sat and listened to her tone and I realized all of the women in my life talk to me like that. It wasn't until I realized that was my type. Because this is the culture that was created and our women are that. Now, we tie it in and we say, black women are the most educated entity in this world. I mean, in America right now. I'm not going to say the world, just America right now. Right. But look at how passive aggressive and look at the word choices and look at how women speak when they are educated. You feel me? The hardest woman to get is a black woman who's educated because, for one, you have to be educated too, but you have to realize that because of the conditioning and the program and everything that she has to endure just to become the PhD, the masters and all of that shit, psychologically what that has to do to her, because she gets to a point where she can't turn the code. She doesn't switch the code back. So what happens when you don't switch the code back? Now your passive aggression is warranted because now you feel like you can talk down on people who are beneath you. And this is not just, for black women. This is how corporate America works. This is how the system is designed to create the status and create the hierarchies and classism so people can speak to certain people a certain way. That's why words will never hurt you, because we want you to believe that words will never hurt you. So you can hear any word you need to hear. You feel what I'm saying? And I said that because, and now tying it back to the conversation with the relationship with the woman, I told her never to physically, I had never said the words, don't you ever talk to me like that again. Because here's how passive aggression comes out. Because there was a time when I did tell her, I said, yo, you got me fucked up. You better watch how you talking to me like that. Then it gets into, oh, you zesty. Oh, you soft. Oh, you this, that, and the third. Oh, you might be down low because I'm not down low because I do not want a woman to passive aggressively handle me or deal with me. I'm not passive aggressive. I'm not zesty. I'm not soft because I do not want to be verbally abused. I'm not all of those things because I do not want to be mentally abused. You feel me? That's just like me saying, oh, she a bitch because she won't let me punch her in her mouth. That makes sense. Like, we'll look at that shit and be like, nah, that's fucked up, bro. Like, you feel me? But you feel me? I'm a bitch because I won't let her talk to me crazy. You see what I'm saying? Women will purposely say shit that they know is gonna cut you. You feel me? I remember one time. Now, this is when the shit was, You feel me? If your skin wasn't tough, nigga, there was a time in high school when you get in your transition phase and you learning how to fucking. Luckily, I started fucking at 11, so I got that shit. I already hit my growth spurt and everything. I was good, and I had already been fucking. Right. So crazy story. I was fucking before I hit my growth spurt, so I was good either way. So nobody can tell me no crazy shit. So I had a conversation with this woman, and now not a one. We was kids, so you know how girls do when you roasting them, not even roasting them, but when you're not agreeing with them or whatever. That's why your dick little. That's why you couldn't fuck good, whatever the case may be. Blah blah blah. So the conversation was, you feel me? She was like, that's why you got a little dick. Everybody, ooh, laughing, ah, and I was like, yo, but you couldn't handle all of it, and everybody was like, oh, and then the look on her face was like, damn. It's like, oh, so it's almost like when you look at a fight, a physical fight, and the motherfucker punch a nigga in the mouth and then get mad that he got hit harder, or that when the person hit them, they fell. It's like, you wasn't supposed to drop me. Nigga, we shouldn't have been fighting. How about that? But now you throw that shot, so I threw it back. Right? So now, with passive aggression, you learn how to get witty. You learn how to get sharp with it. You feel me? Until you run across the motherfucker who's a little bit sharper than you. This is why I don't play with y'all. This is why I try not to play with y'all, because I don't have to do the passive aggressive shit, because I could just verbally annihilate you off principle. Because I know that we come in the situation of dominion and submission. When you come in this conversation, your thing is to try to put your dominion, your mental dominion on mine and make me submit and say, you're right, I was wrong, I didn't know what you was talking. Because you need to understand one thing. I don't have to be passive aggressive with the shit that I say, because I understand what I'm talking about. And I don't open my mouth without understanding. So when you think that I don't know and it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about, it's that you think I should. That's a different level of passive aggression. And you're trying to show me this is humbling. This is what humility is. You feel me? You know how passive aggressive it is to utter the words be humble? That's passive aggressive behavior. Because I'm literally telling you, make yourself insignificant. I don't give a fuck how good you think you are. You're not. And it's based off of the comparison of you comparing yourself to me. Because if I was in your shoes, because I don't have this capacity, how the fuck do you? I don't know. I'm better than you. How about that? And I'm saying that dramatically because if we're in this dominion submissive world and you couldn't make me submit, I dominated you, which means I'm better. That's what this whole world is about. We've been past the part of physically. Like, we know we can't, like, they know that physical, they can't. So we're going to fuck with you on a mental level. We're going to passive aggressively fuck you up. You feel me? You want to know how deep passive aggression is? I'm not going to deny you for the loan. I'm just going to redline you. I'm not going to say I'm not going to give you the loan because you're black. I'm going to say it's because of this area that you live in. We're not going to give it to you. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you no shit like that. Like, there's passive aggressive systems. And what I like about where we are now, this is why people think racism is done. This is why people think racism is done, because it now has become passive aggressive. It's not active aggressive anymore. You guys aren't getting lynched anymore. You guys aren't being drowned. You guys aren't being cooked and eaten no more. We're not doing that to you guys anymore. So racism is dead. No, now your racism is passive aggressive, punk bitch. The fuck? And now I got to deal with that racism and that's passive aggressive. And now I have to respond as if I'm not responding to that way. So now when motherfuckers be like, yo, here y'all go playing the black card. That is how that played out. Because passive aggressively, you can't play that, because sticks and stones break bones, words will never hurt you. What we're doing is just talking. We're just exchanging words. If you think the words we say are a problem to you, what? That's crazy. I remember watching Malcolm X, the Malcolm X story by Spike Lee. And as they're telling his story, he has a white teacher, and the white teacher says, but he said, Malcolm would be like, but you are a nigger. And he's telling me, he said, but why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? He said, because you're a nigger. Like, imagine going, like, y'all, that's Malcolm X. If Malcolm X was not assassinated, he would be alive today. Why? Because Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are still alive. They all ran around the same time. If he was not assassinated, he would be alive today. A man alive today to know that a teacher told him that you're nothing but a nigger. Y'all, hello. That's the passive aggressive shit. And we accepted that shit. And those are the schools that we went to. Now, granted, now you can't call a motherfucker a nigger and tell in class and tell them, and mentally break them down like that and make them internalize. Niggas can't do shit. You feel what I'm saying? Niggas can't do shit. Yeah, we did take the power out of it and made it a term of endearment so much so that white people want to be niggas now. Why can't I say it? Why can't I say it? You guys say it all the time. You know how passive aggressive that is to show that we're dominating you so much that we're upset that we can't tell you. We're upset that we can no longer call you the thing we used to call you to break you down. How does that work? Like how much? Like how stupid? How crazy are you? All you keep hearing is get into the markets. But do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, Forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest and if you should do stocks, Forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Mastering the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? But again, it's about dominion. It's about dominion. And when you tie that passive aggressive shit in there, they don't have to say nigger in class anymore. They don't have to. They just need to say, okay, this person's being unruly. The propaganda's already there. You feel me? I remember one time I was in 11th grade and one of my classmates is like, I'm listening to the whole conversation with her and the teacher. She's asking the teacher a question. And the teacher's like, what? And so she responds and the teacher says, she was like, now go sit down. She's like, but I'm not done answering my question. She says, oh, there goes your attitude. She said, I don't have an attitude. Yes, you do. Now get out my white teacher talking to a black student. And Shorty went and and I listened to it and I'm like, wow, this is what we got to deal with. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm like, now if she go home, now fast forward, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, if she go home and say her teacher don't like her, she's failing because her teacher don't like her, it's valid. But now when you meet these teachers, they jolly. When you meet these type white teachers and shit, they jolly, they're lovable, they think, but you don't know what that motherfucker is on the inside. This is performative shit. They're being professional. They're being professional. You dig what I'm saying? But in professionalism, you have passive aggression. Because now when I can't do nothing to you physically that I would want to, now I got to try to, break you. So like I said, this teacher, I know I'm all over the place, but it's still connected. So this teacher back when I was in the 4th grade who called me a liar, whatever the case may be, what she was trying to do now, this passive aggressive behavior now is designed to now, when you're in these spaces, I now make you dissociate from your essence. Integration was a smart move because I don't have to physically, you feel me? Imagine if I was physically aggressive with you, actively aggressive with you, right? I'm beating you, I'm lynching you, tying you to horses and shit. I'm doing all of that shit. Like that's different, right? But now what I'm telling you is different. It's a little bit subtle. Now what I'm telling you is that you're not like the other ones. Death what? Niggas? That what you saying? You feel me? No. You're different. How? And see, on the inside, we can't internalize why they see that we're different because we don't realize they looking at two different black people. They're looking at the black person that we project, not the black person that we are. And the black person that we project has to fit within this passive aggressive world. Has to fit within this dominant submissive world. So you now have to learn how to maneuver a certain way. So like I said, tying it into the using the black card and shit and like, yo, you can't use that black card. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. They don't want you to use the black card because it's reverse racism is some of the most passive aggressive rhetoric ever. You feel what I'm saying? All lives matter. All of that shit is passive aggressive behavior, y'all. Like it's so subtle, right? What they've done is they don't need to use COINTELPRO no more. They use passive aggression because they know how we need to. So like think about woke. No, nobody say woke no more. We the motherfuckers who put the word woke on the forefront and we don't even use it anymore because we knew that it started. So now when they say, "Oh, here you go with the woke agenda," you're talking anti-black, and they're called there, and it's so subtle that you have now accepted. Like nobody even says Black Lives Matter anymore, but the response to it has always been passive aggressive. All lives matter. That's what you need to understand you're dealing with. You see what I'm saying? Like people be like, "Oh, why can't they get it?" You're trying to convince passive aggressive people of a behavior that they're doing intentionally. We're so used to the racism because of how they projected with the media and shit. Oh, 12 years. You think they show you 12 years a slave so you can stay in oppression. No, I'm showing you 12 years a slave so I can keep being passive aggressive because this can't possibly, because this is racism. This is what it means to hate black people. This is what it means to be racist. I'm beating you. I'm making you a slave. I'm not doing any of that shit to you. No, I'm gonna passive aggressively do it though. I'm gonna sign the 13th Amendment and say we can't have slavery, but if you commit a crime, you give that shit up. And then now I'm gonna purposely create a system that makes you fuck up in school so you can't get a good education, so you can't have the quote unquote options or even think to even create anything for yourself. You dig what I'm saying? Passive aggression. And now when I create the criminal, it's just like, yo, you didn't have to make the choice. Like I was talking to somebody, and I was even adding it here. And I was talking about how, when we look at statistics, we got to realize that the stat is it reveals the efficacy of the system. You feel what I'm saying? Stats are going to reveal to you the efficacy of a motherfucking system. They're going to show you how well something works. The fuck? So when we talk about stats and shit like that, and the stats are high for a reason, oh, y'all play this, but y'all do it passive aggressively. Whole time we thinking, oh, it's equal now. You can't be equal to motherfucking, because they're not burning us with cigarettes when we go into their restaurants, because it's little subtle shit, because that racism is not profitable anymore. Y'all need to understand that shit. That's the only reason why they gave that shit up. We look at, oh, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation because the nigga was thinking about the future. We can't make money off racism no more. We think it was just picking cotton. No, it was racism, nigga. Racism, slavery is a byproduct of racism. Racism had to come first. You see what I'm saying? We look at slavery as the racism. Racism made slavery possible. It made it doable. So the racism could stay in place. Now you take the slavery out, and motherfuckers don't even look at racism anymore. This is all passive aggressive slavery now. I'm gonna tell you to go to school, get a good job, get a good education. Now you're gonna work for me for 40 years. Whole time you think because I'm giving you some money. I'm giving you enough to go indulge in your pleasures and come back to work. Think about it. That's what it was supposed to be about. Because Rockefeller said, I do not want a nation of workers. I do not want a nation of thinkers. I need a nation of workers. And now I need a nation of workers so gung-ho and ready to work, they're going to tell their kids to come work for me. You feel me? Yo, go get you a job with such and such. Y'all remember, if you listen to some of the conversations you had with your grandparents when they talk about working at the factories and shit, and like there was big, you feel me? What was it? What was the motherfucking Detroit that the car company, was it Chrysler? Whatever, Motor City, whatever. They were big on that. When that came into it, it was like, yeah, we got to work for this. We got to work for that. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody wanted a good job in the factories and shit and all of that. And in that, you created a system. To now, it's like, yo, you better do it. I work for such and such. I work for this. Now I create a criteria. I'm gonna create an education system to make you feel important for working for me. Now it's like, yo, I worked hard for this degree. Now you're no longer who you are, who you've become. Right? And now within this professional world that you become, now you have to be passive aggressive. You know how many what is it? Is it Freemason or is it Tears of Joy? Where Rick Ross said, what do he say? 6 figures for a slap in the face or some shit. And it's like, yo, he has to pay that shit out. If he wasn't famous, again, this is passive aggressive behavior, because you feel me? If a celebrity slap me, I'm slapping you back. Fuck that. I'm not gonna over dramatize the shit and go sue you and shit. You feel me? Like Jay said, you kill me, you famous. I kill you, I'm brainless. You see what I'm saying? When you get to a certain stature, a certain level, you have to be passive aggressive. Which is important because it means you have to be aggressive in the beginning. And this is why passive aggression has reached the point where you create content, cancel culture, all this other soft shit where you can't say certain shit because a lot of the passive aggressive motherfuckers now were never even strong enough or confident enough to be actively aggressive. Same motherfuckers that are passively aggressive never bust a grape in a food fight. Most of them. The ones who were passive aggressive to the point that it's like, I dare you to do something, they're the motherfuckers that, I was actively, I'm that type of motherfucker. I'm not proud of it. I'm also not ashamed of it. But I'm that type of motherfucker. I'm going to get you to the point where either we're going to fight or not. Because I get what you're trying to do. I get the aggression that you're trying to, but I get actively aggressive. So at the end of the day, we can take these words however we want to take them. But now, can we take them to that next level? A lot of people can't take it to that next level. So they get passive aggressive, and that's why they back off. Here you go. They get you riled up just to say, here you go. I was just asking a question. I was just doing that. You passive aggressively did that because you didn't ask the question in a way that was for me to respond sensibly. You asked in a way as if you were trying to excite something out of me. Why would you want to do that? Because I fucking want to. You didn't have to say it like that. Yes, I did. Because you didn't have to ask it like that. I didn't ask it like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I feel the energy you gave off. I get it. You're trying to deflect it because now at the end of the day, you see that I've seen who you were. That passive aggression didn't work. You see what I'm saying? Listen to how people speak to you. Listen to what they say to you when they say certain shit. You feel me? And this is not to say like, your friends that say certain shit, they're bad people, whatever the case. A lot of it is programming. I'm sorry, like I said, I'm this type of motherfucker because I'm sarcastic. I'm sarcastic as fuck, but because I'm a fighter, I would really physically fight. You're not gonna bully me. I made bullies when I would speak so ill of the bullies that they would want to fight. And then when we fight, it's like, oh, nigga, like I don't just talk this shit to like, no. You feel me? And I'm gonna run, like, and that's something that I've learned. I've watched when I was in middle school, elementary school, even high school. I watched a lot of the people who were passive aggressive. They talk that passive aggressive shit, but then when it's time to fight, why can't we just talk it out as men? No, 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 no. Then they give you that moral compass. Let's talk it out as men. Men get with fisticuffs. I don't know what talking about y'all get into, but that's where that passive aggressive shit comes in. Talk it out like men. I can talk it out like a man when when this situation warrants a conversation. Some situations warrant your fist, and that's okay. That's okay. Take it there. But I need you to know that sometimes you gotta realize you can't blur the lines. Let's talk it out like men. Because we're going to talk it out like men. We're going to come to a consensus, but then you're going to go your own way. And then you're going to talk whatever shit you're going to talk. Again, here's passive aggressive behavior. There's situations that I got in with niggas and shit because I ended up having to fight because they played a fucked up role. We talked and shit. And it's like, yo, I heard you want to scrap or whatever, blah, blah. And I'm telling them like, it is what it is. Now they go off and then tell motherfuckers, yeah, I bitched them. Now I gotta fight you because you adding shit that won't there. Now dusted him off and shit, and it's like, yo, he didn't bitch me, bro. The situation was this: I said what I said, he said what he said, we walked off. So whatever he's told y'all is some bullshit, and I just had to show y'all that it was bullshit. You feel me? I'm speaking on a specific situation. Like the motherfucker was, he was talking about a situation that he knew nothing about, and so in speaking on that situation. You feel me? One thing led to another. So it's like, bam. I was like, yo, so you tell us such and such, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what it is, bro. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna say, well, all right, whatever. So I leave it at that. Then I hear, oh yeah, you got bitch. Yo, I heard you ran up on such and such and didn't do shit. I said, huh? I was like, I didn't run up on him to do shit. I ran up on him to ask him why this is the situation. And he said it wasn't a problem. So I left it alone. But now that you're saying I ran up on you and didn't do shit, now I gotta run up on you and do shit. So I ran up on him and I did shit. But the point is, after I ran up on him and did shit, it was just like, yo, that was fucked up. It wasn't fucked up. He told y'all that I ran up on him and didn't do shit. But my intention wasn't to run up on him and do shit. So it's like, okay, cool. Now my intention was to run up on him and do shit. I ran up on him and did shit, and he didn't do shit. And now where are we? See, you can't get passive aggressive with motherfuckers because when you start letting passive aggressive shit train, everybody isn't passive aggressive. But I feel everybody needs to understand how important it is to pay attention to what passive aggressive behavior can get you. It can get you worlds of ass whoopings. Worlds of ass whoopings. You feel what I'm saying? men and women. And we have this domestic abuse and shit. We're like, yo, women, domestic abuse is wrong. It is. It is. You shouldn't physically put a woman, but the shit that women can say to men is the equivalent of getting punched in the motherfucking mouth. You feel me? Again, I'm not justifying the shit. I'm not justifying domestic abuse. I'm saying I understand how certain shit can go a certain way. You feel me? They create certain illusions to make it so they create certain illusions so that they can have the power that they need to maintain. As I said, the world is being run by recessive genetics. They have to be passive aggressive because they can't be active. They can't win any other way. So they have to create these systems the way that they are. Now, when you succumb to these systems and you follow me, now you participate in this passive aggressive behavior. What do? What do you end up becoming? You feel what I'm saying? And now let me show you how powerful and how fucked up and what the passive aggression does to us. The passive aggression it builds up to a point where we hold on so much passive aggressive shit and we deal with so much passive aggressive behavior that we come home and actively get aggressive with our family, actively get aggressive with our loved ones. And I'm gonna tie this side to the religion because when you have a reality that says love your neighbor, treat your masters if you would Jesus Christ, but spare the rod, spoil the child. You feel me? You're supposed to turn the cheeks to your enemies, but you're supposed to attack and damage your loved ones. It doesn't make sense. But now when we add that layer to it, now you're dealing with passive aggressive people all day. You wonder why you're frustrated as fuck and you take out shit on your children for the slightest fucking thing. That wasn't your baby that you wanted to hit. That was the only motherfucker that you could hit at that time that wouldn't bounce back, that wouldn't do shit to you. Because you'll lose your good job. You feel me? You'll get fired and you get blackballed or whatever the case may be. You'll lose your motherfucking job if you wild out at work, but you wild out fucking home. You wild out at home because of the passive aggressive shit at work. As soon as you motherfucking come home, your babies can't even hug you, can't jump on you, can't kiss on you, can't hug on you, can't tell you about their day, can't ask you why, because you are tapped out from the passive aggression that you had to give and endure all fucking day. You've been fighting all fucking day. You see what I'm saying? But because of the code switch, now you come home, right? You come home. The code switch has got so embedded within you that now you come home and you see within your intimate space, your loved ones, your family, and all of them, you see within them what your company, with a passive aggressive nature, passive aggressive system sees in you. That's why you respond the way you do. In our culture, our kids aren't designed to make us proud. Our kids we don't have kids to be anything other than vessels that don't embarrass us. I mean this with the utmost respect, and I got to keep it 100. My children could never embarrass me. No human being has the power to embarrass me. Nigga, that's your shit. How the fuck is your shit going to be an embarrassment to me? Unless I'm trying to live through you, or unless I'm trying to maintain the control and trying to connect myself to a certain image or dissociate myself from a certain image. You see what I'm saying? Like, can't no black person that do some embarrassing shit to them embarrass me. Like the shorty that y'all flipped quick, bruh. Y'all flipped quick. The shorty that said she found a stroller on the side of the road and they thought she was abducted. She got missing and everything. Everybody was sending prayers in it. The way in which y'all switched, man. The way in which y'all switched is a part of this episode. Because the side of y'all that show compassion, that's one side of what black people are. That's the encompassing of the essence of who black people are. But the side that switched, that's that corporate America side. That's that professionalism side. That's that passive aggressive side. And now, when you put passive aggression on the goddamn internet, y'all remember me telling y'all, I said it in a jam session, I say it all the time, yo. When we were in school, there were separations. I don't know about it in private schools because I didn't go to a private school. But I can honestly say in most private schools, probably there was no separation because you would have to pay. You're going to pay. No, ain't nobody going to pay to put their mentally challenged or mentally slow student in a private school. Just not. But public schools, all day long, send them there. In public schools, we had honors classes, AP classes, regular classes, special ed classes. You feel me? I ain't even going to hold you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When I was in high school, because pussy was all that was on my mind, I done knocked off a couple of the chicks in the special ed class. Now, they weren't the special ed that was like on some real retarded shit. I didn't know that they was in the slow classes. They was in there because they was bad. And it was only like one class. You see what I'm saying? It was like one class and it was on some, oh, damn. I just happened to be passing this class going to another elective after I had already fucked. And I was like, oh, you in those. Okay, cool. But now, I can be walking past the class and say, oh, she's in that class. Or he's in that class. Or I shouldn't be fucking with this person. I shouldn't be like, we can walk that. When we're, but social media, that shit ain't there. I can't log into social media and say, there go the short bus niggas. You feel me? Not on any funny shit or disrespect to the short bus niggas, bro. Because you feel me? Humans are human. But the point is, when corporate America is wild because they discriminated from K through 12, even through college. But somehow it's non-discrimination. That's when they started letting the wrong motherfuckers in. Because you had motherfuckers that could only do trades. You had motherfuckers that could think higher, but everybody's now trying to think higher. And everybody ain't built for that. Everybody ain't built for that. And it's cool. It's cool. But now, when we look at how we structured it and how it's separated, when you see all that passive aggression, you see all this pain, there's no bounds on the internet, no discrimination. So I don't discriminate, but there's no discrimination on the internet. You literally argue with motherfuckers who you wouldn't have spoke to in school. And it's crazy because we hear as adults, we say this shit all the time. Oh my gosh, work is just like high school. Niggas arguing like little high school people. Why? Because the shit never changed. The system was, high school was supposed to be the forefront for everything that you're going to now go into in the next phase. They keep telling you, this ain't going to fly. Man, you know how many teachers I heard tell me this ain't going to fly when you get to college. Wait till y'all get in the real world. Nigga, I'm in the real world and still doing the same fucking bullshit. Because you doing the same fucking bullshit. And you telling me that I can't get it. And it's working for you. It's working for you. But this is tied to the passive aggressive corporate America type shit. You feel what I'm saying? You start off in the education system where it's like, okay, here's distinction. The delineation's already there in the class system. The next thing you know, you start working with motherfuckers. And then the class system change because now it's about supervisor. Imagine you can be supervised by a motherfucker you would have never spoke to who is quote unquote slower than you in school. How do you know? Because they started making different tests because it's like, all right, yo, you can take this, you take this. It's other shit. Like when you, motherfuckers that, I know so many motherfuckers that went to college with me, they were still in the slow classes. Nothing was wrong with them. They were still able to, like, they had impediments. There was something wrong with them. They had an IEP or a 504 plan. Like, there was something wrong with them. You feel me? Something that was hindering them. But it didn't stop them, so they was able to still progress. But here's why I'm saying that, because that doesn't, you can be hindered and not, I know a battle rapper who's labeled as special education. He's one of the most phenomenal pens ever. So you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying it from that perspective, but I'm saying once you internalize that shit, taking it back to your sacral and solar plexus chakra. Once you internalize that I'm in special education, I do not have to think like you know what I'm saying? Like there's been studies where motherfuckers have switched the labels of motherfuckers. Say, oh, yo, you're in honors class, and they performed accordingly. People don't realize that for children, and I don't mean this just from a perspective of age, I mean perspective of experience. For children, once the expectation is set, any child will meet it. The first time. And then the second time it's like, I'll see if it's worth me meeting it. But when you set the expectation, it's gonna be met. If you lower the expectation, that's the bare minimum they're gonna do. Like C's get degrees. What if C's didn't get degrees? If only A's got degrees, then niggas will get all A's. It's simple. But we take the passive aggressive route out, right? Now, this leads to other shit because now this is why winners lose. I mean, losers win because niggas that would never lose, they don't know how to overcome loss. You feel what I'm saying? Losing is powerful because it's not just, okay, I'm down in the dumps. No, it's like, what did this experience do to me? You feel me? Because I'm responsible. What we don't want to take accountability for, and this is what the passive aggression shit comes in. We don't want to take accountability for losing. Nigga, you don't just lose. There's a sequence of events that happen to where now when this opportunity presents itself, you were not prepared enough to win. That's simple. Now imagine being comfortable not being prepared to win. Now being comfortable not being prepared to win because now you can depend on a deity. So when I don't win, I can do all that shit. Like, you are built to lose. And then you become passive aggressive. You see what I'm saying? You become the passive aggressive type motherfucker. And now we see it all day long on social media. It's niggas right here. It's motherfuckers right now that are, you know, considering themselves upper echelonian because they may have achieved something or whatever the case may be. And that hierarchy is what allows them to be whatever. You feel me? The block button on social media is one of the most passive aggressive things ever. I don't block niggas because I'm not passive aggressive. And I never realized why I don't block people. Everybody I know that blocks people, you got passive aggressive tendencies. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's one thing to block a motherfucker. I'm going to tell you when it's fucked up. It's one thing to block a motherfucker, right? Because they said something slick. But it's another thing to respond to a motherfucker. Let them see your response and then block them. Because it's like, I can't go back and forth with you because what you saying is going to fuck with me. So I'm just going to keep responding, but now I'm going to block you. Now you can't say nothing back. Feel me? One of my homegirls, right? She sent me this TikTok video. This deaf woman. She does sign or whatever the case may be. She does TikTok. She's deaf. And she was talking about what's the most disrespectful shit that could happen to you as a deaf person. She said when she was arguing with her brother and shit, he signed everything he wanted to say, then closed his eyes. I'm sorry. That is the most hilarious, diabolical shit ever. It's like, that's passive aggression though. Like, just imagine, even if they in a heated argument, they look like they gang banging and shit. And then he say all of that shit and then stop and let her start and close his eyes. It's like, damn, bro. That's what it's like. That's what passive aggression is. You feel me? I remember I was working at I was working one time and one of the people, like, I had to open the store. So I'm not about to open the store and leave the door unlocked. Nigga, the fuck? Nigga, I'm about to be in here counting money and handling shit. Like, the fuck you mean? You would run up in, somebody run up in here? Like, no. So I would lock the door. You feel me? And when you supposed to be here, I'll go and unlock it. So the guy, now, mind you, I'm doing another site. This isn't even my home site. I'm working for a motherfucker. I'm trying to help a motherfucker out because they short staffed. So I go over to motherfucker and he's like, yeah, you passive aggressive shit, Caucasian, homosexual dude. I'm not trying to be funny and, you know, like whatever, but I'm speaking on what you see. You feel me? So working in a pharmacy, whatever the case may be. I guess he's a pharmacy tech or some shit like that, or whatever. Or he might be the pharmacist. I don't know. I think he was a pharmacy tech. No, he was a pharmacy tech because he didn't have on a white coat. So I opened the door. He's like, oh, usually the doors aren't locked. I said, usually I'm not here. Oh, I was just saying. I know you were just saying. And I was just saying too, motherfucker. You were testing the water to see if you said something and I wasn't going to say nothing back. And I did. And now you realize, don't fuck with me. That's how it gauges who they can and can't fuck with. Niggas know. Niggas know. Niggas know who they can and can't fuck with. Again, social media takes that very way because motherfuckers feel like, yo, I can fuck with whoever I want to fuck with. No, you can't. But see, in real time, when people do that passive aggressive shit, they gauge the waters. That's why customer service has to be a thing and the customer is always right because the customer is the most passive aggressive motherfucker ever. This is why Karens are who they are. We know, damn, I want to speak to a manager because that's how they passive aggressively work. Nothing they can do is active anymore. Nothing they will do is active. Everything is passive. And when shit doesn't go, what's the ultimate thing that they're going to do when it's all said and done? Cry. They will cry, because that is the most passive aggressive behavior. Because what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make it look like now you're hurting me. My passive aggression, I'm throwing punches, and they're not hitting. Boom, you hit me one time. I was in the seventh grade. I got ISS for like a week. I didn't get suspended from school. I got in-school suspension, so I ain't had to go home, but I got ISS for a week. I punched the white boy in the eye. All year, all my seventh grade year, right? This motherfucker been talking shit. Two things that I hate. I hate being spoken to and spoken down on, and I hate being called a boy. Right? My sisters, I'm gonna let y'all know. Y'all get a pass because I understand the culture. Sometimes you're like, boy, stop all of that shit. I don't like it. Because of the history tied to the word boy. You can't calling a black man boy is the utmost form of disrespect. You see what I'm saying? But we still do it. We still call each other black boy and black girl. That's why sometimes you hear me catch myself and I have it, you know what I'm saying, black women. I'm like, oh, they weren't women. It was kids then. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll say shit like that because I have to program myself to address my people as men and women, not boys and girls, no matter how old we are. You feel what I'm saying? So Motherfucker will always say some slick shit to me, but end it with boy. He'll call me stupid. He'll say, you know what I'm saying? He'll make, I was killing him academically, but he felt the need to say whatever. He's the reason why I know what a 504 plan is. I didn't know the nigga had a 504 plan. We in the same class though. We in the same class. I do know that like towards the end of the class, he would have to leave and go get extra reading or some shit during tests. He can take a longer amount of time on the test, have motherfuckers read the test to him and shit. I'm like, how dare you call me stupid? But anyway, he had a 504 plan and I knew about it. But this person condescendingly speak to me. The arrogance of the skin tone. We're in the same classroom and you still think you're better than me. But I'm in the South. You feel me? I'm in the South. So he's talking shit. He called me boy one day. Been calling me boy the whole time, whole semester. And I keep telling the teacher, I'm like, hey, yo, you're not going to say nothing? It doesn't matter what he says. It matters what you respond to. Okay, my nigga. Okay, my nigga. Hey, look, bro, get your mans, B. I'm telling him. And every time I'm like, hey, every time dude say something, I say, yo, watch your fucking mouth. Yo, you watch your mouth. You shouldn't be talking like that. Blah, blah. I was like, yo, he's provoking me and you letting him. I need you to do something about that, teacher. Because you're letting him provoke me. Passive aggressive shit. Because it doesn't matter what he does to you. It doesn't matter what he says to you. It matters what he does. And they have been trained and programmed to say shit to rile you up. Okay? So this particular day, now mind you, the semester had 180 days. I punched this motherfucker on day 167. Was it 160? Yeah. Day 167, I punched this motherfucker. 180 days. I'm telling you, tell this motherfucker to leave me alone. So the teacher tells me, I want you to go tell him to pick up some paper clips. You know it ain't gonna end good. Just do what I told you to say. You setting me up. So I put the paper clips in a cup. I put them on one side of the other room, poured them, boom, walked over to the cup. I was like, hey, teacher said pick up the paper clips. Paper clips. Boy, I'm not picking up any paper clips. And he stood up and pushed me. Snap, stuck him in the eye and dropped him. When I hit him in the eye, I was going to hit him again, but the teacher grabbed me. I dropped him. He said, yo, calm down or whatever. Teacher tried to say I sucker punched him and shit. I said, how I sucker punch him? He said, because you swung around me. How in the fuck I swing around you when you had to get up from your desk and I was face to face with him? I didn't swing around you. That was a clean hit directly to his face. And I had a class with one of my homeboys. I'm in ISS, and one of my homeboys walked past the class. He said, I told you. Because that morning, he said, because I don't know if he felt the energy when we got on the bus that morning, because we lived around the corner from each other. But he like, yo, you good? I say, I don't know, bro. I feel good, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, so dude talking mad shit. And my homie said, hey, yo, relax, bro. Chill. He can see something in me. And I'm like, yo, bro, he keep talking though. Like, why he still doing this shit to me though? I'm like, yo, at this point, he's like, yo, relax. So he told the teacher, he said, hey, look, man, if you don't do something about him, Ray gonna knock him out. He ain't gonna do nothing, whatever the case said. All right. Every class period that changed, my homeboy walked by the teacher and said, I told you. I told you. I told you. You feel me? And he talking about, so when he came to the ISS, this is when I knew it was a setup. The teacher tells me, so what'd you guys get? What you mean we'll get? We just got ISS. It was like, oh, you're not suspended? You was trying to get me suspended, homie? Wow. Same teacher wanted me to play football for him because he was like, yo, you got a lot of anger. So if you can't manipulate it in your favor, because I didn't play football, you're going to manipulate it still. Okay, passive aggressive shit. I get you. So I punched the motherfucker in the face. Now we in the office and shit. And he crying. Everybody, now, all white, all white administrative panel. Our assistant principal was black. And that's who I had to see or whatever the case may be. So they're like, you have no remorse. Because he's crying. I'm just sitting there. They're like, you have no remorse. I said, this has been going on all year. That's why we ended up getting ISS. Because I have been telling about the documentation that I had with it. And how everybody's seen it. So they're like, well, I said, so what happened? I said, I punched him in the eye because he called me boy and pushed me after the teacher told me to tell him to pick up paper clips. He's not supposed to be telling me to pick up paper clips. I said, if I wouldn't have told him to pick up paper clips, I would have got written up for insubordination. I would have been in here anyway. So at this point, I don't care. You just have no remorse. I know you're trying to make it seem, you're trying to paint the picture that as a black man, I'm heartless. As a black man, I'm cold. No, I was fed up. I punched him on day 167, my nigga. I could have punched him on day 2. I could have punched him on day 2. I let this motherfucker get 167 days. I let this motherfucker get away with 167 days of passive aggressive. That's how deep it was for me at that point. So I'm in front of the black principal, woman or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying this for dramatic effect. She didn't do nothing crazy. So we sitting in there, and again, he's crying, doing the whole spiel, and they looking like, why you just, I said, cuz. And I told the whole story. I said from beginning to end, this is what it was. I told him blah, 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 and I told him it was like, yes, that's what happened. And he's crying more because now the passive aggression didn't work. My white card ain't working. Oh shit, cry. And now he's crying. He's trying to milk the shit. And as he's crying, it's like, but he's not supposed to tell me to do anything. I said, the teacher told me. And I told her, I said, and this is when they started fucking, because like the way me and my mama talk, you feel me? She never taught me as a kid. You feel me? She taught me as an adult most times. You feel what I'm saying? So I was sharp on a lot of shit. So as I'm sitting down, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I had already told the teacher that this was a situation. I had to tell several situations and, it escalated. He kept calling me boy, whatever it was. So I punched him. I said, I don't feel like you don't feel. I don't. My hand good. His eye ain't swole. We good. He just felt me. I had to feel him for 167 days. You feel what I'm saying? So I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like I said, I punched him. He's crying or whatever. It is what it is. And I was like, so what do you guys do going forward? Y'all just got to give me what you're going to give me. Because I don't care. When I started breaking down everything that he'd been doing from beginning to the year, he started admitting to it. And basically all he kept saying was, he should not have punched me. I can do all of this passive aggressive shit. He should not have punched me. Bro, I told him, I said, yo, it took 167 days for me to punch him. I deserve an award for that. I said that to the principal, but it's like, the assistant principal. And I was like, all right, whatever. I deserve an award for that. Like, he's fucking with me. And I'm telling the teacher, y'all told me that. Tell the teacher. Now, now he's snitching. Now he a tattletale. Now he this, that, and the third. And now y'all starting to label me with other shit. So I snapped. And when I snapped, I punched him. And it just so happened I hit the target I was supposed to hit. It ain't like I took it out on another motherfucker. I didn't go home and take it. I'm the youngest, but I didn't go home and take it out on a little sibling. I didn't go home and, go around the corner and take it out on my friends. No, I took it out on the problem. This is right here is why they have professionalism, or why passive aggression has reached this peak in the corporate America. Because it's like, nah, I'm not about to go to jail. I'm not about to do this. Like, at the time, I could have went to jail. I didn't care. I was 12 years old. I didn't care. But you're not going to be passive aggressive with me. You feel me? Either we're going to fight or we're not. Don't tell me to shut up. Don't call me boy. Don't call me stupid. Like, these are all it doesn't matter. It does matter what he says, because there's a reason why he's saying it. He didn't get up out of his seat and come swing on me. I mean, I kind of got up I didn't get out of my seat and go swing on him. I was out of my seat and I was already in his face, and he, called me boy, pushed me. I never forget that hit. That was one of the cleanest punches I ever threw. It was so fluid. I don't think it wasn't even like, that punch was so beautiful because it wasn't like it was like a scheduled event. Like, it's like the punch was going to happen. It was almost like it just flowed magnetically. It's like his eye just pulled. It attracted my fist to it. And my fist wasn't resistant. It just whole shit, bang, and it fit his whole. It fit perfect. It didn't feel like the fit. It hit perfect. You feel me? But the point that I was making with that is tied into the passive aggressive shit, because passive aggressive shit still has to be met, because it has to be met in a certain way. But now, I could have met him with passive aggressive shit, but when I tried to, the teacher kept telling me to be quiet. Don't respond. It doesn't matter what he said. If you ignore him, he'll stop. Nigga, it took me 167 days to punch him in the eye. I was ignoring him from day 2, 3, 4, 50, 100. I was ignoring him the whole time, and it never stopped. You lied. Like, the shit that you told me wasn't going to happen, it didn't happen. Because of that sticks and stone shit that gives people free reign to be passive aggressive. One thing you can never be passive aggressive with is a motherfucker that is nice with words. So this is what I'm talking about. When we in the culture, sticks and stones breaks, but we develop to be passive aggressive. Why you think we roast people so easily? And again, when I was in school, people roasted on what you couldn't change. That's something that was always a violation for me. If I roasted you or some shit, it was because your shoes was dirty, You feel me? Because your pants was ashy, or you know what I'm saying, some shit that can be changed by you buying more clothes or what. Like I knew now that I was fucked up. We was all in poverty. Like we should have been roasting each other like that or some shit like that. Nigga, that's why your Air Force Ones got a crease in them, bitch. You don't wear no sock. But you feel me? We shouldn't have been on that tight time, but we were, and that was slowly developing. So when people would joke on me, because I would joke on it, like that shit hurt. My mama never sent me to school with dirty clothes. She never, like, my mama made sure we was always good. So me roasting was like, yo, that's why y'all niggas broke, bro. Fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was different levels, and I was wrong at the time, but that's the point. But I would hit so hard that they now had to attack me personally. Oh, you got big lips. Oh, you got big eyes. That's like you would joke on things that I couldn't change. And now when I go back in, it's just like, now you want to fight. See, that's why I can fight, because my passive aggression extends a whole nother. You're gonna want to fight me, bro. Like, and it translates even on social media. Like I told you, you're gonna have to block me, bro, because you can't beat my ass. So, and you won't beat my ass. I think his pen or something, he's saying he was in Germany or some shit like that. Wow, you from Germany, think you safe? Okay, cool. But now what's really gonna fuck with you is if you don't block me because you looked at my page trying to be funny, you're gonna see my ads. And it's gonna piss you off because they're gonna keep running to your ads. They keep running to your ass non-fucking stop. You're gonna see 5 of them bitches. You're gonna see Master Market, you're gonna see Hitting It Raw, you're gonna see fucking the podcast, you're gonna see so much shit. That's a different level of passive aggression. I can easily say, fuck it. Let me, you know what I'm saying? I'll pull up on your bitch ass. I gotta go to Greece anyway, nigga. Drop your addy. The fuck? What you doing in Greece to whoop a motherfucker ass? For all I know, the nigga ain't even in Greece for real. He probably just put that there because he wants to feel special. Because the same motherfucker decides to say, again, passive aggressive shit. Huh, you got 7,000 followers and only have 6 likes on your reels. Cuz, bitch, I rebranded. I rebranded. I literally deleted like 15,000 posts. I deleted like 15,000 posts, untagged myself from shit that other people, because my page I got fucked up because of everything that I had got tied into. So I rebranded. And I'm not posting the same type of content that I was posting that amassed the 7,000 followers. But guess what? They still here, nigga. Ain't no bots. These are all organic people. I just don't fuck with them no more because I rebranded. They have to figure out how to, they're not used to seeing me like this. You feel what I'm saying? But I said, I'm glad you said that though, because I don't give a fuck about the likes. It's about the reach. You know what I mean? I said that before, so I'm not going to repeat that too much. But you feel what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, when they get passive aggressive, you know you're dealing with a passive aggressive because they start off strong, but then it starts to look like they're scratching that shit. And they always going to end with some kind of personal attack to you. That's how you know you won. It's a personal attack to you. So when you get personal, I get personal too. And I get personal worse than you. Because now my personal is going to stick with you forever. It's going to burn in your soul because now you have to realize that you couldn't match wits with the nigga you thought you was matching wits with. Bars. You feel me? Because this passive aggressive shit is largely tied to professionalism. Like I remember when I had my my mom edit my one of my books. Matter of fact, it was Hitting Raw. So she's like, this ain't professional. It is. The skill set is phenomenal. Like it's there. But it wasn't worded in a way that makes white people feel comfortable. That's where the professionalism comes in. White people have mastered a way in which they can speak to you without you being offended because white people have done so much atrocities in the world that now they can just talk reckless. Because the history shows, King Leopold's and all of these, like, we show that y'all rape, pillage, plunder, massacre, damage every fucking thing. That's what the history shows. So now when they just passive aggressive, we like, white people could be worse. That's why the illusion that racism is dead is there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, racism ain't dead because now we passive aggressively do shit to you. You dig what I'm saying? It's crazy, but it's real. And this is a part of the world that we live in. I had to do this episode because I realized how much passive aggressive is in my life. You feel me? I remember when I was in undergrad, when I first went, I almost fought a Sigma because, you feel me? All I said was, you feel me? He wanted to watch a talk show. His DVD wouldn't work. So I was like, I guess we can't watch it. I wasn't trying to be funny. The nigga looked back and said, I said, I'm going to leave before I lay hands on him. That's what I told Shorty I was sitting beside. I said, I'm going to leave before I do something crazy. I walk out all of the time. He could have easily said something to me all of the time. So I walk out the door and I get to the elevator. I happen to look through the glass and I see his mouth moving. I just open the door. Whatever look happened on my, because again, I get active. The fuck? But I wasn't going to get active this time. I really just wanted to know. So I had to open the door to see, okay, so what would you say? What would you say? Like, speak up so I can hear you. Like, oh no, get out, get out. I'm not gonna do shit to him. Y'all chill out. I just want to know what the fuck he said. Like, don't wait till I leave. I just want to have clarity as to it's what he said. And the demeanor in which I do it is so calm that it fucks with people. Because they don't know if because when you used to aggressive people, violent, they jumping around, oh fuck that, us mad, this nigga. No, those are motherfuckers who don't want to fight. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation that makes me awkward to fight. No, you're not even gonna know the fight's gonna happen. I'm just gonna be so cool, calm, collected because the fight has already been played out in my head 7 times over. Now I just want to know if it's about to happen or not. So now when I ask, I'm like, yo, so what'd you say? Mute, didn't say shit. But you know what the thought was? I'm not gonna stoop to his level. I'm bigger than that. That's beneath me. It ain't. It wasn't beneath you when you said it. It wasn't beneath you when you started the shit. You see what I'm saying? Like when they call, like I seen the video, like speaking beneath, like the dude that was like, it's above me now. When the white lady talked, he said, you called me a nigger on the phone. I was just angry. I was this, that, and the third. You don't get a hotel room now. You feel me? And then she wanted to cry. That's that passive aggressive shit. You see what I'm saying? They do that shit not realizing that you really get active. And then when you do get active, it looks crazy. Why? Because passive aggression was supposed to win, and it lost because they were victims that are used to that. They're so used to being victimized that now they say shit. Now they can, hide their hand, but now they can cry and they can still win, but they can play it all on some passive aggressive shit. And don't forget to check out Paula Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Paula Cafe Clothing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there because I got shit to do. Yeah, that was kind of on my head because I realized like that's most of what social media is about, passive aggressive shit. And I was scrolling, I seen this post or whatever, like motherfucker literally said that, what I'm saying, one of the people that I follow, he posted about getting his son back or whatever. And getting his son from his mother, whatever. Everybody's like, oh, you foul, you narcissistic or whatever the case may be. And he posted it to tell, okay, I'm telling the story as to, why this is important to me. And everybody was like, oh, I didn't know your side. But you're still narcissistic for telling your side of the story. Nigga, how? How? Like, y'all don't even want to accept the reality. And this is the shit that I be saying. Passive aggressive shit. I know I said I was going to circle back on the women a lot, and I did. But, you know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. A lot of passive aggressive shit is women behavior. So, damn, hit the mic. But a lot of passive aggressive shit is women's behavior. And I don't mean it in a gender war type shit. No. This is really the behavior of women. Women are more passive aggressive than men. Far more passive aggressive than men. And the more educated she is, the more sophisticated she is, the more sophisticated people think they are as a whole, the more they hold themselves to a higher esteem than they really are. So they get into spaces and pockets where passive aggression has to come out because that's the only way you can defend yourself. I got to say it in such a way that you feel me. You know what I'm saying? Like these sister circles, cool, bruh. This shit all passive aggressive, especially on social media, because all these motherfuckers that's talking on social media, either they in relationships actively or they would not talk about this shit in real life. It's easy to talk about shit from a safe haven when it can't be challenged. You feel me? This is one of the reasons why I don't feature people on my podcast no more. You see what I'm saying? I can't because I am not about to deal with passive aggression on my shit. I'm gonna taint you. I'm gonna redirect your shit and let you know this ain't where it's gonna happen at. I had somebody up here who was trying to use that passive aggressive shit. Oh well, shit. I must be wrong then. Why don't you fill me in and tell me? I will. You are, but it's okay. It's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn. We're not here to to cast judgment and make it seem like somebody's wrong. But that's that passive aggressive shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's real passive aggressive shit, and a lot of the passive aggressive shit that we exhibit when it comes to giving relationships and shit like that, it's largely because this is shit that we wanted to do. Half the shit that we do to people, the wrong shit that we do to people, is some shit that we want to do to a parent that we couldn't, or an elder, or somebody that we just couldn't do shit to. You know what I'm saying? And then we take it out on the weaker vessel because again, it all ties into we're in a dominant submissive society, And when you don't want to be physically dominant, you become passive aggressive. It's simple. We look at bullies all the time and think about the big fat motherfucker who beats up on little kids all the time. No, it's also the motherfucker who undermines, who speaks in such a way that condescendingly makes people feel small. You feel me? I'm a highly intelligent individual. I don't have to exhibit it all the time, and I don't go around asserting it. I say it all the time. I've been saying it since I started this podcast. Knowledge is power, and he or she who has more knowledge than you has more power than you. That's the only reason why I know all that I know. Because if you catch me in real time, like catch me on the post and shit, it looks like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say some shit. Because it sounds far-fetched. I ain't even gonna hold you. For me to tell you that the US dollar is backed by the mental, physical, and spiritual health of the, you know what I'm saying, the people, it sounds far-fetched. It don't make sense when you don't know why the fuck I'm saying what I'm saying. Nigga, that's rubbish. That's stupid. I know, because you don't have the database of what I'm talking about. Again, I'm telling y'all about a unit. I'm speaking about a unit circle in calculus, and you're telling me ain't no unit circles in algebra. I know it ain't no unit circles in algebra. Then what the fuck is a unit circle? Something that you learn in calculus. You haven't gotten there yet. And it's cool. Stay in algebra. Stop telling me the calculus is wrong. Stay in fucking algebra. You feel what I'm saying? But again, because we're in a passive aggressive world and it's based off dominance, the moment you present any form of information to me, I've got my degree. I got this, that, and the third. So I'm going to assume that you're stupid. It's amazing how it's the look on niggas' face when they find out I graduated with honors with a degree in forensic biology. It'd be shocking as hell. I was just for the fourth, right? For the time of the fourth and shit, my pops and them, they come down every year. And him and his brothers, I didn't even know they was doing this shit. This shit is so like, it's crazy how communal it is. Cause I was like, I didn't even know you was built like that. To like really care about, family and staying together and shit. Nigga, you didn't even come find us. Nigga, that's oxymoron like a motherfucker. But as we talking and shit, my pop only knows me as he knows me now. When I say we like our relationship, we just exchanged numbers for the first time last year. My dad got my number for the first time when I was 32 years old. He probably already had it because any other time I reached out and called him, but I intentionally said, yo, exchange numbers, nigga. This is really who I am. You're not getting to work business shit where you can't call me back. So we sitting there talking, and this is crazy. I thought I had a little sister at the time because he was bringing some little girl to the family function and shit. She like 17. I'm like, he was like, yeah, she called me dad sometime, nigga. I'm like, is that your fucking daughter, nigga? Like, don't spring a surprise on me, bro. It wasn't his fucking daughter, but like he really did just been in her life that long. I'm like, all right, nigga, ain't no problem. But I'm like, I'm not mad at you because, bro, like, I'm like, yo, she's 17. I'm 30. Like, you move, like, life happens. You gotta move on. So as we talking, she's talking about, HBCUs and shit, going to HBCU. So I'm like, hey, ain't no HBCU better than Fayetteville State. And my dad looked and said, how you know? I said, cause I graduated, motherfucker. Me and my pop, we talk like this. Like, he was like, I graduated, motherfucker. I got a degree in forensic biology. He said, for real? I was like, yeah. He said, damn, I just thought you did business. I said, no, nigga, I'm retired. And business is the second half. He's like, damn. It blew his mind because it's like, I missed it. I missed everything. You did. It's like, and as you know me now, you think I'm just an entrepreneur with the 4 books out and shit and all of that shit. It's like, nah, nigga, I retired. I didn't graduate. I didn't work corporate. I didn't did all of that shit. That's how I know so much that I know. You feel what I'm saying? But in expressing that, right, it's like, it allows me to stay, diluted. So I don't have to do the passive aggressive shit. You see what I'm saying? But when we're taught that, I got my degree, I got all of this shit, like you hold your accolades to a certain standard and that becomes who you are. So you let your status dictate how you speak to people, which a lot of time comes off very, very condescending. Passive aggressive behavior and condescending speech is almost 1-to-1. But it all comes from professionalism. When you're in a professional space, you're gonna speak like, for example, when the COVID was hitting and I was talking about mRNA, motherfucker gonna tell me, yo, this is basic biology. It started off as basic biology, so I started going down the rabbit hole of genetics. Oh, I talked to a physician and I talked to a geneticist and they said you're wrong. Nigga, you went from telling me this was basic high school information to having to go talk to a physician and a geneticist all while we in the same thread just to say that I was wrong? Okay, nigga. Okay, nigga. The problem is that passive aggressive shit. You speak, you come into a space, I gotta, first things first, I'm gonna undermine what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? Why you want to do that? Like, I don't think people understand how subtle it is, yo. You feel me? Because it's words. You feel me? You sure? The manner in which something gets said is very, very important. And I'm gonna end it here because now I can bring it back in. Women have solidified that reality of it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because my intention was never to deliver the message of what I say. My intention was to get you to feel what I'm saying, not to understand what I'm saying, to feel my disgust with you, to feel whatever it is that I'm designing to give to you. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it and how you need to speak to me. You need to speak to me in a way that doesn't show me you're being passively aggressive. But I'm going to speak to you in a way that shows that it's only about how I said it. This is why when women speak, I hear the words, but I listen to the tone in which it's delivered. Because women are big on it's how it's said. Men ain't. We don't give a fuck about how it's said. Bitch, this is what you said. Nigga, that's not how I meant it. I don't care. This is what you said. But for women, it's not what you said. It's how you say it. They don't give a fuck about what you say. Most times. Y'all really don't be giving a fuck about what a motherfucker say most times. It's how the motherfucker said it. So when you understand that, you start to learn that passive aggression is tied to how I want you to feel. I'm going to say a certain amount of words to make you feel a certain way. I'm going to say something to trigger you a certain way. And now how you're triggered will determine how I respond. You ever been talking to a motherfucker and they say something and you don't respond in a way, then you feel them starting to get a little bit more aggressive. It's like, hold up, what? Wait, stop. But then when you check them right then, it's, hold up, my bad. That's not where I was going with this. You did not have to get. I was talking to a woman one time and she was saying, she said something. She said, I'm just kidding. You're not just kidding. You're only saying that because I didn't laugh. You're only saying that because I didn't agree with what you said. I'm just kidding. You're not kidding. You're not kidding because if I would not have went against what you said, kidding would have never came out of your mouth. See, passive aggressive behavior is so subtle. People don't realize how deep it is. And it starts from the trickle down effect of not being able or not willing to physically do some shit. Nobody wants to be physically aggressive. Nobody wants to be labeled as that, but everybody doesn't give a fuck about being passively aggressive because words will never hurt you. People don't pay attention to that. So we trickle it down and we give it to our kids and we like, why do kids lie? Lying, when you learn how to lie as a kid, it's because you're trying to figure out what to say right. That's the first foundational piece of your passive aggressive behavior. I must learn how to start. I got to learn to start saying what I'm supposed to say right. The lie comes in because I'm not even pulling from details that make sense. I'm not even sticking to the topic. You dig what I'm saying? But as I get older, I get more and more able to stick to it. So who's really the narcissist, the passive aggressive person? Because now I finagle my words. I'm not lying, but I finagle my words in such a way that they trigger you. And I'm ready for whichever outcome is ready for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to stop looking at, because see, when you're on social media and shit, everybody's passive aggressive when they respond to you. If you're an actively aggressive motherfucker, don't respond to people. I'm an actively aggressive motherfucker, so I'm now going to respond to people and tell them, yo, you got to click the link in my bio to see what the fuck I was talking about. Because chances are, if I made a claim on some deep shit within a post, chances are it's one of my bags. It's one of my brands as to why I said it. Whether it be So Frail, Master the Market, or whatever. There's a reason behind it. So I'm going to market that shit right then. I'm handling it passively differently now. You feel me? I don't block motherfuckers. I'm not about to do all that other stupid shit no more. You feel me? But these are the people that we have to deal with, and these people are teaching the children. The children are learning how to be passive aggressive from the, like, most black men now, when we look at why most black men are zesty in the way they are right now, because most of us are passive aggressive because we were raised by mothers who did not want us to be a threat, to be killed in the streets. So when I talk about systems, they work. They work. That passive aggressive man can't be actively aggressive because he's afraid he'll die, because his mother is afraid he'll die. His mother. Whether the father is in the home or not, his mother is the dictating force in that shit. Happy life, happy wife. And when your wife isn't happy, she's passive aggressive. I'm so bored. I don't know. I just need some excitement in my life. And then she's going to go cheat. That's passive aggressive shit, because now When she goes to cheat, it's like, oh my gosh, she must not be fulfilled at home. This must be, but a man can cheat and you niggas fuck anything. What? Y'all are passive aggressive with the way y'all cheat. Because a man can be deprived of the same shit that a woman is deprived of. Like he can literally be deprived of the exact same shit that a woman is deprived of, but a woman will be justified in going out to cheat, but a man won't. Why? Because women, as the passive aggressor, they can slide into the submissive role real easily. We're naturally supposed to be the dominant one. So if we're cheating, it's because we're greedy. If they're cheating, they submitted, they tried, it didn't work. But they're going to be passive aggressive with it. They're not going to tell you this shit ain't going to work because they know they don't want to fuck up the ring. They know they at it. They know logically they're in a good position. So they're not going to fuck that up. But at the same token, they're going to test the waters. Cheating is passive aggressive as a whole. You testing to see this is the ultimate thing that I can get away with. If you let me get away with this in this relationship, you ain't going nowhere. That is a psychological assertion of dominance. And I don't think people pay too much attention to that shit. You be so hurt that, you played me, you this, that, and the third, and you don't even care. I asserted my dominance over you. Shut the fuck up. You wanted this dominant person. There's a lot of things that got to come with that. Because now I got to be passive aggressive with this shit too. You feel what I'm saying? And women have learned to be, more passive aggressive simply because they learn how to stroke men's egos early. You feel what I'm saying? And we got to succumb to that shit. And so our kids, I feel personally, we need to just stop the passive aggressive bullshit. We got to be able to identify what passive aggression is and identify within ourselves. I'm a passive aggressive motherfucker because I'm sarcastic. I'm a passive aggressive motherfucker because I learned professionalism. I'm passive aggressive because of the corporate world. Like that's what it led you to. You feel what I'm saying? And then the way you speak, the way you talk to shit, like, you know what I'm saying? The way in which your demeanor changes. But we need to pay attention to more than anything how shit is being said, because that would tell you how, it's passive aggressive. You feel what I'm saying? When you hear motherfuckers say, hey, question, can I ask you why you put this, that, and the third together? Okay, that's it. It was like, why the fuck you do that shit? You feel what I'm saying? Like, you can hear the kind of, like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up for real and I'm going to go into the kids. I seen a video of the little girl with the worms. Her mama asked her, why you got worms in your pocket? Everybody on the outside, she just asked her what was in her pocket. But she felt how it was said. Women can't say, you feel me? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And then not pay attention to how the fuck they talk. That shit crazy to me. Women do not pay attention to how they talk, but then will tell a man it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That means that in that passive aggressive area, this is your dominant space. You don't give a fuck about what another motherfucker do. You just better not violate me. You feel what I'm saying? So she's telling her little girl, you can see the whole energy change in the little girl's face because it's not, she don't hear these words. She feel this energy, the irritation. You feel what I'm saying? Start paying attention to what energy you feel when somebody makes a passive aggressive statement, because you'll know it's passive aggressive, because now you feel like you'll know instantly by how you respond. You feel me? People get mad at me thinking I'm ignoring them because they're making passive aggressive. I know they're making a passive aggressive statement. I'm just like, okay, the fuck you want me to do about it? Because I learned not to engage with that shit no more. So what we need to do is, with our babies and shit, understand our babies' development has always been based off of what they feel. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't know shit. Like, we really got to sit and think about that. Our babies don't know shit, so everything is operating off of how they feel. Your feelings trigger your thoughts, right? Well, your feelings trigger your emotions trigger your thoughts, but feelings lead to ideas, emotions lead to thoughts, and shit like that. It goes hand in hand. But our babies feel first before they have the vocabulary, which is the words, before they have the actual insight to even think yet. So they have to feel. So the words that we speak, it's not what we say, it's how we say it. And how we say it determines how they can interpret what we say. You feel what I'm saying? I know families that are in structures where the parents don't do shit but yell. So the babies don't respond until you yell. Like you started it, you set the standard, you set this expectation is going to be met. So when you tell me in a calm voice, "Hey, go clean your room," it's my room ain't that dirty. It can't possibly be that dirty because you ain't saying, "Get your ass up and go clean your fucking room." See what I mean? It's energy. It's how shit is said. You feel me? And we got to stop being passive aggressive with our babies because it's worse than active aggressive. Because once we stop giving them whoopings, we keep being passive aggressive with them. We keep undermining them. We keep talking down on them. We keep speaking in a way in which the how is far worse than the what. And then now, what's happening is the children are coming out talking about the therapy, talking about all of the shit, and they're telling their parents, "This is what you did." And the parents don't give a fuck what they did. They don't give a fuck how what they did affected their kid because of what they had to do it. Two things can coexist at one time, but we need to be in a generation where we actually start to break that in our children. You feel what I'm saying? Break that with our children because this is passive aggressive behavior. Passive aggressive worse is it's the worst kind of abuse if you ask me. Motherfuckers have been spoken to passive aggressively and now they don't even believe in themselves. It's motherfuckers that don't even believe that they smart because of some passive aggressive shit. You feel what I mean? That's some weird shit. But it's all passive aggressive shit. You feel me? So make sure when we're talking to our babies that we're not using, we gotta listen to how you saying the shit to them. Even if they're doing something in your mind, you feel like mentally, I know not to do certain shit like that, but they're learning. Don't talk. Why would you do some stupid shit like that? You know how many times, like, because passive aggressive behavior is what's going to lead that passive aggressive shit is what leads to the inner voice of our children. Have you ever? And I know a woman, and I'm only saying this because I know a woman like this. She would say, you know, my dumb ass did this, that, and the third. But then when I listen to some of the things that she would say her mother said to her, her father said to her, shit like that, it's like, oh, well, that's stupid. How many times have you heard that stupid in such a condescending way? And it's just like, what? Again, passive aggressive behavior. I'm not going to call you stupid. I'm just going to say the shit that you just did was stupid, but I'm going to say it in such a way that you know that I'm talking about you. Well, that's just stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. I said, we got to stop doing that. Our babies don't need that, especially coming from where the love is supposed to be. But we're so busy sparing the rod that we're not realizing the words that we're saying. You feel what I'm saying? There's no reason why your baby should hear you say yes, sir, no, sir to this random motherfucker and speaking, they're disrespecting you to say it's okay. But the baby is intentionally not doing anything wrong to, and you feel disrespected because of whatever the case may be, and you respond to them a certain way. Our babies know what's up because it's about how, and that's what passive aggression is. It's about the how. Stop it. So I'm gonna go in there, go kiss your babies, make sure they eat their vegetables, and I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom as always. I'm out.